All right, good morning, everybody. Ended up yesterday with another distribution day. And let's go check out IBD. Just to confirm that, but it should be fairly self-explanatory. Should put us 4 distribution days on the NASDAQ, 5 on the S&P probably. Getting up there to third distribution day in 5 sessions, they mentioned. Yep, 5 on the S&P, 4 on the NASDAQ. Where's the other one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They consider that a distribution day? 228? Let's find out. Oh, they considered it a distribution day. So we are getting multiple distribution days. I didn't consider this a distribution day. So that is 3 pretty quick distribution days. All right, let's see what we got here today. We have a couple up 2% at the bottom. More down more than 2%. So IQ down 2.6%. Not really breaking out of that pattern very well. ZTO down a bunch. Hmm. All right, Stones, ETO, Skyworks, IQ down here. What's up yesterday was interesting was Lumber Liquidators. Let's see what they're doing today. Not a whole lot. Lumber Liquidators actually in a minor channel down here. Potentially bouncing. I'm looking for a bounce on Lumber Liquidators there. Shenwright, Disney, ZTO, MJ. Up slightly today. All right, let's see what is working today. Grifols. Grifols doing okay. MMNFF. STZ. Not bad. UVE. Casa. NXPI. Looking pretty good. I think this was on my... No, it wasn't on my list yesterday, but we did notice it was on there prior. Yeah, that was 220. It was on my list, so a couple weeks ago. NXPI to 105. On 220. Right there. So we're back down to about that level. Haven't dropped that much. Supported by the 200-day moving average. Oh, and the overnight got up to 102.5. Why? It's another news with every single possible stock bouncing for no reason. So that's interesting. After hours yesterday, look at NXPI rallied all the way up to 102, which is way up here. It's not even on my chart right now. Rallied way up to 102 and all the way back down. That's weird. I don't know if it tries it again or not. Can't say either way. But that's a strange one. Boom, right up to 102. Huh. Haven't really seen a stock rally for zero reason. Especially for a while, this thing rallied for... This thing was up there for several hours. I guess for 1 hour. But 2.5 hours after the close, then started to rally. Let's see if NXPI is going to get with a program here. CDNA, nice. Oh, there's Carvana for a second. That's Carvana moving again. CDNA with a nice little day up here. Get rid of the news. 3.78%. IQ moving a little lower. Stone. SoFun, after having a couple of good days there, not having two good days. Moving lower. STZ. MED. What's Tesla doing up here around 280? Let's go back to NXPI. Intrigued to see how this thing works out throughout the morning session. Dang. And is this one that has earnings coming up, I guess, is another question. They got a dividend, but no earnings for a while, so these guys are clear to run. Clear to go. Is this the wrong chat? Strange. Huh. Alright, Anik, ABC. ZTO giving up 2% today. IQ giving up a significant amount. The volume's pretty heavy on the open. Not good action down here. Looks like that should be the trend line instead of what I had it as. And if we're lucky, we'll find support here further at the 200-day moving average and also at that red line. Getting towards the highs. Here's some red creeping into my screen. And like I said, the NASDAQ with 3 quick distribution days, that's usually not a healthy sign. You don't like seeing a flurry of distribution right at that resistance level, 200-day moving average on the NASDAQ. If you look at the Russell 2000, it's actually already curled over. Yesterday, I think it was, had a pretty bad candle, broke through, a trend line broke through. Definitely put in a rounding top action there. So the Russell 2000 is small caps. So you can see the small caps already rolling over, taking some more risk off the table. There's our bigger picture. Basically a ninja star pattern. I haven't noticed these work out terribly well. Haven't seen them on indexes though. And the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ do look a lot alike. Could it be a very large head and shoulders pattern? I guess it's possible. But I wonder what the bias would be. What's up, Nick? I wonder what the story would be behind that move. I mean, we know about China. We know about the debt. I see everyone is yelling about the debt all the time, but it hasn't hurt us so far. So I don't know if we know quantitative easing is basically stopped. Take a look at the Fed balance sheet. So it started topping off. They've been selling it off as of January 15th, 2018, which is right around here somewhere. And we've been pretty choppy since then, so you can say that definitely the Fed's balance sheet is affecting us a little bit. It should affect us significantly considering it was probably responsible for a majority of our bull market. I think it'd be foolish not to understand that fact. Selected assets, what does that mean? Credit extended through Federal Reserve liquidity facilities. Support for specific institutions. That's interesting. And that was due to the crisis. I'm actually on federalreserve.gov/monetary policy. In their recent credit and liquidity programs in the balance sheet. Selected liabilities for the Federal Reserve. Deposit, currency in circulation in millions of dollars. Well, this is an interesting little chart. I don't know what it means. Not yet. I haven't really looked at it that much. Currency in circulation in millions of dollars. That kind of makes sense. Deposits of depository institutions in millions of dollars. And we're actually over that for the first time since 2008. Late 2008, early 2009. And then the next one is treasury balance. What does treasury balance mean? What are they? Deposits of depository institutions. I'm not sure if that's good or bad that deposits have undercut. It probably doesn't even matter. October 2017 is their normalization program. So, interesting little dealio going on there. Not sure how that affects us as traders, but could it mean that we're more likely to be toppy than not? That's definitely a possibility. As if, the Federal Reserve since the Great Recession has been a large purchaser, net purchaser, and it's the biggest single entity in the U.S. monetarily. Hold on a sec. All right. So we've entered kind of a different type of market up here with so many distribution days. If you guys hear any weird sounds, just let me know. I got actually a portable microphone stand, and I'm playing with it. So if you hear like fiddling around, which you may, I can't say you won't. Trying to figure this thing out still. So NXPI giving up a little bit, 0.58% now. Moved a little bit lower, never moved higher. Go to the bottom. IQ still down here. Stone still down here. IQ's moved down significantly. That trend line hasn't really been hit yet. Stone's had a pretty bad day. Let's look, find some names that we've been looking at recently. Cron looks like it tried the other day on good volume too. It may come back if the market doesn't completely roll over. Momo, Noah, Huya, TTMI, WHD, both have fallen apart. Roku, yesterday this was higher. One of the few that was actually having a pretty solid up day. Look at it, nice little big triangle bull flag looking thing. And today giving up quite a bit of that price back. FOXF is one we were looking at, kind of trying to break out of a little symmetrical triangle, pulling back into the triangle now, not so good. Skyworks continuing lower. There's a trend line here that it needs to get above. What's Boeing doing? Boeing pulling back. These are always good times to get into Boeing. BQ, what am I talking about? I'm confusing things. I just made a zebra horse out of my stock symbols. There's no BQ. There we go. Boeing. When Boeing's in a pullback, it's always a decent time to try to find an entry into Boeing. I mean, look at this. Look at this run this thing has had. On the weekly, we're pretty red here so far after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight green weeks. This week was marginally red. I mean marginally on the week. So I'll consider that green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 straight green weeks for Boeing. So since the run up here, I'm not sure if we had 10 straight green weeks. Or even anything near as close to bullish as that. And maybe towards the end there, as I start, there's a bunch right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Not bad. Hold on, guys. All right. Yeah, I was muted. I was saying goodbye to my family. They all left. They all left me. Yeah, so stocks are pretty much ready here, Eli. You are correct. We've been tracking distribution days, and we have our follow-through day here, and subsequently 5 distribution days. I got 6. IBD's got 5. Of course, they're not using the futures. So I'm going off them. One of these is not considered a distribution day. I'm not sure which one it is. But they all have elevated selling volumes. Lumber Liquidators up 0.5% here. I said this thing was range bound, looking for this to probably have a bounce up here to the top of the channel, although earnings are coming out here pretty soon. 318. So that gives this thing about a week and a half to run. And a week and a day. Week and a day to try to get back to the channel. Not sure if it'll do that, but that could be good. Lilly, what are you doing green again here, buddy? Looks like Lilly has enjoyed a pullback. If that's all it gets on a pullback, that's pretty good on Lilly. Man, that volume has just done nothing but increase. Look at this on the weekly chart. It's just amazing. I just don't know how to. I literally don't know what to do with this information. This is so abnormal. Volume is 188 million at the high here. I mean, you look at yesterday. It's just continually increasing. I don't know any other time where this thing has pulled 188 million shares out of its butt. None. I literally can't think of one. I don't think it's exponentially increased the share float either. Just so weird. But either way, Eli Lilly putting in a smaller consolidation here. I don't know if they're wash trading this or what they're doing with this. I have no idea. But it's just so much volume. Like if you look at it on the daily, it doesn't appear to be, I mean, 100,000 per 5 minutes? That doesn't equal 180 million. I mean, yeah, it's probably dark pool settlement. That's only 5 million. I don't know where they're getting. Oh, that's on a weekly chart. This one's 74 million. So 5 million after. I guess it could be. I don't know. It's just strange. Just it's an oddity in the markets. Hey, Shen's having a positive day, which is odd. All right, CDNA, XON, TZA, which is a 3 times short the Russell 2000. Of course, it's having a good day today. INS, holding up pretty well. It has a trend line that it may try to get over, and right before earnings too. So be careful with that one. Grifols, not doing too bad here, up almost 2% while the rest of the market's falling apart. UVE's already gapped down. MED, ANIC, MEDP, Cyber. Small little bull flag, not sure if it's a bull flag or a pullback. Every day before bed, I read that article that predicts Tesla at 4,000. 4,000. That's a huge number. Not sure if that's realistic or not. What would Tesla market cap be at 4,000? Well, they're at 50 billion right now. 4,000 would put them at $1 trillion, right? $679 billion. It looks like. The market cap would be basically $700 billion, right up there with the big ones. Maybe they got a big road to hoe until then. That's a lot of market cap. Lot of market cap. NXPI giving it up here today. Commvault OTEX. Liquidators also giving it up today. ZTO pulling back. Volume's fine. I don't mind. Where did that volume come from? I thought that volume was over here. That's strange. Anyway, lower volume pullback so far on ZTO. Does have earnings coming up pretty quickly, so probably avoid that one for right now. Yeah, slow day today in the markets. I'm not sure if there's much to do today unless the market just really turns around and starts to get going, but it looks like it's trying to turn in the opposite direction according to the indexes. Got the Nasdaq that Russell we already went over is already kind of broken trend. The Nasdaq maybe trying to follow it today. We'll have to wait and see. If you see on the top right corner, I've got a kind of a red trend line there on the, that's basically straight up like a trend line. That one's being broken as we speak. And the volume seems to be, that's MJ at the bottom, that's not even the current. There we go. So you see volume's pretty heavy so far today. Really heavy on this sell-off. Look at that. Just a block of volume. All up at the same level. Boom, 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 boom. And so far not giving the sellers any rest there. You can see yesterday. So that's a lot of selling, higher than any volume yesterday. That's pretty high. Seeing a high volume candle now, maybe this will put in a short-term bottom. But I can't say it's going to put in the bottom for the day. It is a good volume candle though, but about 50% more. Yeah, we'll see. So the distribution days are starting to pile up on us. Breakouts are starting to fail a little bit, so we're doing some kind of a pause. It's been a pretty good rally. So, right now I think new positions should probably be on hold for a little bit. I think if you haven't taken profits on other positions, you may consider doing so. I've actually been as I've been exiting positions, I've just ended up with naturally more cash in my account. I haven't really thought about the market rolling over. I've just been looking for better entries and taking profits as I have them. Excuse me. So, but yeah, for me, I'm just kind of waiting to see the ones that, whether this turns into a pullback or a deeper market correction, whether we go into a correction or not. I'm just kind of waiting to see how the market sorts itself out, and if we get back into a bit of a more uptrending cycle, then I'll be putting much more capital back to use, probably in larger sizes. So lumber liquidators back up, and Nasdaq giving up those little bounces that it had. It didn't involve much. So far, giving up all those bounces. All right, let's take a look at Nasdaq a little more closely. All right, so generally here we've got very high volume area up here, and these are futures. Now let's go to weekly. I'm not sure what time frame that gets me, but there we go. Okay, so here's our weekly, very elevated volume up here towards the highs, and volume's been declining as we've been going higher. Usually not the end of the world when that happens. You can see here we were rising on declining volume coming out of 2008. Then it started rising again, and we were kind of still going up. Of course, we were extremely oversold on this particular drop, much more than we were up here. So let's go back to this 2015 base here. Here we had a drop, a subsequent rise. We came to, I don't, whoops, sorry, hit the mic arm there. I don't know if we came up to a resistance point like we did here, but we ended up forming kind of a head and shoulders, and then came all the way back down to kind of a support level. So for us, maybe that's down here at 64.80. Maybe we go lower for the next few months, end up down here before we come back again. That would rhyme pretty well with this one. You can see right there, head and shoulders. Kind of have a head and shoulders type of a pattern here. I'm pulling back, see if there's any other large head and shoulders. Oh, there's kind of a head and shoulders. This one rallied, undercut, rallied up to here again, which is pretty similar. And then there's another one. And then we came back down towards the low of the first shoulder, and then bounced up again, made a lower high before finally rolling over. That was where we really started to sell off. And this one, we kind of chopped around, undercut, shoulder, head, maybe a shoulder here. This one tried to break the neckline, failed because it's an index. Indexes don't break necklines like that. Ended up breaking a little trend line here, and then never looked back really. So yeah, maybe we are do another little pullback. Little not so little is yet to be seen. But so far it's not super interested in bouncing back. Yeah, we're getting a little bit. I guess we do have a green candle here. Woohoo! There's your bounce, guys. Lumber Liquidator is getting up 1% though. That's interesting. All right. CDNA now up 9.5%, extending gains. Not bad here. Not bad here at all. Kind of looking like Raven coin in crypto. We've been talking about Raven, and had a nice another bounce up last night. Looks like it's giving up some pullback into the maybe an entry point and a chance to get back into that one. But breaking out right there, consolidating. Nothing's been great. ICX looks like it's having a good day too. BNB rolled over a little bit, not much. Ontology up 5%, cool. And now we're going back down towards the lows. Yeah, not sure how, I mean, if we get another distribution day here today, I don't know if it's going to be in the cards because yesterday's volume was pretty good. 442,000, we're already at 170,000. Kind of reeks of another distribution day. Couldn't theory take some profits on my NQ position, or my TQQQ position. Maybe not all of them, maybe half. As we continue rolling over through the trend line right there. Yeah, maybe I'll take half off. ZTO Fox IQ still down here. Ooh, that's a nice gap down in SSYS. Stone, Huya, CMCM, Weibo, Momo, IQ, C-Trip. C-Trip's not looking too bad. EDU all gave it up. That's why you don't arbitrarily buy even in a very nice looking structure. Look at that. It's a shame, EDU. You were doing so good. Win, Noah coming back. Tilray. Ooh, break into the downside. Good thing I never bought anything on that one. No bueno right there. I'm not happy about that. Goose, OGRMF, TTMI, rolling over ZTO. ZTO's not really breaking yet. They do have earnings coming up. That could bounce them back up out of this thing. Looks like we have a trend line here coming up to the 10-day moving average. Not broken quite yet. But although it does look like volume's only 500,000 compared to 2.6. That's pretty heavy. That's pretty heavy half an hour into the trading session. Generon. Trying to find something. Nettie's here looks pretty good. Look at that. That's not bad. Try to break out the past couple of days. Didn't have a lot of volume behind it, unfortunately. Today having a nice little pullback. I think your selling point should be there. That would be a stopping point for Nettie's. Down about 6.5%. That's still significant. Alexion failing at the highs. Trimble failing, trying to get into highs. SIVB rolling over. Yeah, quite a few. Gave you some indications here of what it was going to do. You went from pretty nice green candles into a down, selling candle here, doji candle, lots of wick to the upside, lots of wick to the upside, lots of wick to the upside. Then finally breaking the 20-day moving average. But you had about 4 or 5 days to sell SIVB up here. See, that was a pretty good. That was one of those smaller options trades that worked out pretty well. All right, market's bouncing a little bit here. FXI. NVGS coming back. Never really broke out yesterday. It did actually. I guess it did break out a little bit, but it didn't have a lot to it. Closed lower, and today coming back towards the bottom. I mean, that's almost like a guaranteed 23 cents. The way this thing's been trading. Not saying it's guaranteed to happen, but sometimes you get those really tight consolidations and you just put a limit sell in, and maybe you're good to go. SQ, what are you doing? I'm getting to a really choppy part of the watch list right now. SQ just bounced. There we go. Okay, so SQ, yeah, after earnings, looked like it was going to have a good run. You know, everything was coming back, and then the next day, in sense, it just wasn't interested. So I'm not sure what that rally was. Maybe it was a bunch of short covering. I have no idea. I have no idea yet. What is this? I'll get back to him later. SQ, Yandex. Later, Eli. I'm going to get... 807. I do got to get out of here. All right, guys, I'm going to bounce. Market looks like it's starting to sell off a little bit. I don't think I'll be taking any new positions at all. Unless we get a nice rally at some point today. And there's a chart that I just can't resist, but I haven't seen one yet. Maybe INS, if it can get through that trend line, if that alert gets set off, that may get me into this trade. But they do have earnings coming up, so maybe not. Yeah. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Got to get ready for the Real Crypto Power Hour, and that's it, guys. Have a good day.